On July 19, 2013, a spacecraft orbiting Saturn turned its cameras back toward home and photographed Earth as a single, faint dot of light, and NASA asked people across the planet to step outside, look up, and wave at Saturn while it happened.
We're there and I get this thing. Campsite 6.
The result became known as the day the Earth smiled. That moment matters because it is one of the rare times humanity got to see itself from the outer solar system, our entire world reduced to a distant pale speck beside the rings of another planet. Here is what actually happened. The spacecraft was Cassini, and on that day it caught Saturn in an eclipse of the sun. With the sun blocked by the planet, Cassini was able to turn and image Saturn and most of its visible ring system without the glare washing everything out. In the same frame, far in the background, sat Earth and the Moon, both appearing as tiny, distant dots. The finished picture was not a single snapshot but a composite, a photographic mosaic stitched together from many images into one sweeping view. What made this one different was the invitation. NASA turned a technical imaging maneuver into a shared public event, telling people around the world exactly when the picture would be taken and inviting them to smile and wave at Saturn from wherever they stood. The name, The Day the Earth Smiled, refers not only to the photograph itself but to that whole global moment and the activities built around it. A few supporting details put the achievement in scale. This was not the first time Cassini had pulled off a shot like this. Over its previous 9 years in orbit around Saturn, the spacecraft had twice before captured similar photographs of Earth as a distant point of light. But the 2013 version was the one wrapped in a worldwide public campaign, the one designed so that the people appearing as that pale dot knew, in the moment, that their picture was being taken from the far reaches of the solar system. To understand how the image was even possible, it helps to know what Cassini was. Cassini, formerly the Cassini-Huygens mission, was a joint space research effort by NASA, the European Space Agency, and the Italian Space Agency sent to study Saturn and its entire system, the planet, its rings, and its many natural satellites. It was a flagship glass robotic spacecraft, meaning one of the largest and most ambitious missions of its kind. The mission had 2 parts, NASA Cassini probe, which did the orbiting and imaging, and the European Space Agency's Huygens lander, which detached and touched down on Titan, Saturn's largest moon. Cassini's place in history is notable on its own. It was the 4th space probe ever to visit Saturn, but the first to actually enter orbit around the planet rather than simply flying past. It remained in that orbit from 2004 all the way to 2017, more than a decade of continuous study. The 2 craft took their names from the astronomers who helped reveal Saturn to us centuries ago, Giovanni Cassini and Christian Huygens. That long tenure is what made a picture like The Day the Earth Smiled possible in the first place. Only a spacecraft that had settled into orbit and stayed for years could pick the exact geometry, an eclipse, the right angle, Earth peeking out beside the rings, and hold steady long enough to build the mosaic. The lasting significance of the image is less about the technology and more about perspective. Seen from Saturn, Earth is not a globe of continents and oceans but a single dot, easy to miss, holding everyone who has ever lived. Cassini itself is gone now, having ended its mission in 2017, but the photograph endures as a reminder of how small and how shared our world really is. And it points toward what future missions to the outer planets might one day show us, new views of home taken from ever farther away, each one asking us again to look back and recognize ourselves. That's it for this one. Watch this next, why 2010 was Spain's first World Cup win in 80 years.